you have to accept first, and then it's more personalized. Because no, it's not. It's just. Oh no, it's not personalized. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this was just some examples to give you an idea of how many possibilities you have to just create niche sites of so many different topics. I think it's really interesting, and yeah, some of the advantages why I really like this business model. Of course, the most important thing is you are completely time and location independent. So I always like to travel a lot, and it doesn't really matter where I live as long as I have a good internet connection. And also I'm time independent, so when I want to go to a cool event or meet up with some friends, it doesn't matter if it's Monday morning. I can just then change my working time maybe to Sunday or to the evening. And what's also a big advantage is that you don't have to invest a lot of money when you're starting. So when I started, I was still going to university, so I didn't have any money saved. So I just took maybe 10 euros and made a website. So I just invested 10 euros for hosting and created all the content myself. And in general, I think it's a really good possibility to learn online marketing in general, because you are really forced to try different techniques, and you see if they actually become successful, or also which techniques are not successful. So it's much better than, for example, learning marketing at a university, where you usually just learn outdated techniques that don't work in reality. And you also, it never gets boring, and you always have new challenges, because, for example, the algorithm of Google is changing all the time, so you always have to adjust your sites so they still stay successful, and your site might get hacked, and you have to find out how to stop it. Yeah, you just have always your brain always has to find some new creative ideas how to solve some problems. I think that's really cool. And what I also like is that your income is not limited. So if you really work hard or have good techniques or are really productive, you can earn much more money than you would earn in a normal job. And also it gets kind of passive after some time, which is also a big disadvantage, which I will talk about later. For example, when I went to the Nomad Fest 1 month ago, I just didn't work for 1 week at all, and it was still, I got my paycheck at the end of the month. It was actually even much higher than usually, because of the virus. People were buying online much more than usually. Yeah, but of course there's also a big disadvantage. And I think there are also lots of people who fall in the trap that after when their sites get successful after some years, they just don't work so hard anymore. And yeah, then of course the income is also gone very fast when the next Google update comes, for example. And yeah, also a big disadvantage is that actually most people who started, I think they give up after some months when they notice how much work it actually is, and you just can never be sure if a site can be successful, so you have to invest so many hours in it, and you just don't have any guarantee, so you really have to enjoy just building websites and creating content. If you just do it for money, you will probably not be successful. And another big disadvantage is that you are dependent mostly on Google. At least a lot of sites are dependent on Google, so Google always changes the algorithm, and maybe they will decide they don't want any small sites anymore and just big newspapers maybe, and then all your visitors are gone from one day to the next day. I actually had it, I think, at 2 or even 3 sites during the last 5 years where my site just lost all visitors in a very short time, and they still haven't recovered. I think 2 haven't recovered, and 1 has just recovered after 1 update, so it just completely dropped, and then 1 year later there was a new update, and it just was normal again, like before. So Google is very moody, I think, or just wants to test you maybe. Yeah, you're also dependent on affiliate partners, so they always can cancel the cooperation or just lower the commissions. For example, it happened this year to a lot of Amazon affiliates in the English market, so I think they cut most of the commissions to only 1.5%. So a lot of people lost a huge amount of income in a very short time.
So that didn't happen in the German-speaking market?
Not yet, but will probably also happen in other countries, I think. So I'm preparing for it, so I can switch to other affiliate programs. So. Okay, that's some of the disadvantages.
Did you cover the legal uncertainties?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the legal. I think that's also a huge point. Because the laws are always changing, and in general there are lots of laws, especially if you're in a niche like health or finance, or in general, like I think they call your money or your life topics, and yeah, it's just changing a lot. For example, when the GDPR came, you had to spend a lot of time to learn about those new laws, and I spent a few weeks, I think, to change all my websites, and it's very frustrating when you know you could also be creating content at the same time and improve your sites. And for example, if you're doing something with food, I think there's a health claims. I'm not sure if it's in every country, but for example, you're not allowed to say tomatoes are healthy when you're also promoting something on it. So it's a bit strange sometimes. Otherwise, you can get sued very fast by competitors. Yeah, now I have some tools. I think I'll